I'll let it fly. I'll let it fly.
Dude, you started a little bit early. Like, I haven't heard shit yet. What's going down? What are we
We're
talking?
talking about Fire transfers.
Oh
About the
God, you
big
mean
one.
the lack thereof?
No, not the lack
The big
of.
one.
The big one that left out.
No, I'm glad. I actually think that kid's gonna be a bust. I did not see anything
You
that
know-
I was like super jacked about.
You know what? Towards the end of last season, that kind of painted in my head too. Like, yeah, he scored some goals for us, but there was a point in time after he scored those goals that he got a little quiet.
Yeah,
They were catching on to him already.
they were, and I guess I shouldn't put that kind of negativity out there on a kid. Actually, I hope he does well, but you know, like he didn't show enough for me to have been psyched. Like I wanted
Of
him
course.
sold now and not in the summer. You know, for real.
And a lot of people were saying that. They were saying like, "Hey, Fire, if someone offers you 15 million or 20 million for this kid, you take that money and run."
Oh yeah, you take that money and run for real, for real.
You know, and then that's what happened. And if he's not a bust, there's also the transfer clause that if he meets certain obligations, that price is going to go up to 22 million. So it's a win-win for the Fire currently.
For real.
Um,
So wait, so he went like so Slanina's money didn't hit till now, right? And
yeah,
then
because
his
he
money,
transferred in January. Yeah.
right? So his money hit. His money hit. Duran's money hit, and then everybody else we just like released, right?
What do
So
you mean?
we have no more incoming cash, correct?
Yeah, we don't have. There's literally right now the Fire is sitting on like $30 million in transfer money right now. They're sitting on there.
Well, I mean, I say spend it, dude. Like you know what? We
Whip
literally
it out, rub a no doubt. But you gotta pick no, you can't just spend it though. There's roster limitations in MLS. You can only have so many people. Gotta be.
Well, yeah, they're
choosy.
only gonna give the Fire 1 million of GAM or TAM or whatever that crap is. But
well, yeah, but like, what's the difference when it's a DP? Like, I mean, everybody complains about like what people make when they're a DP. It's like, who cares?
We have an open DP spot right now. We have an open DP spot.
No, not for real.
Yeah, we do have an open.
Because they bought what's his face down.
Who?
The worst DP on the Fire.
Gaston.
Oh God. Why can't we not? Oh God, he sucks. Somebody tweeted.
We have two DPs. In fact, one of them is a young DP. So we're fulfilling our end of the rule, so we can utilize an extra U22 initiative budget allocation to get another John Duran type player under the line. They got him in for 2.5 million transfer, and his salary was like it counted for extra funny money business. So a couple more signings like that.
Essentially, the Fire could get a DP and a U22 initiative player. So far, it seems like they've had good luck with getting a U22, except for Jairo Torres, but they had an amazing luck with John Duran. So they could sign a high-paying, high-scoring, caliber striker for their DP, and use your U22 for a project that's on the low risk, high reward type of player.
Well, dude, there is so much to do with this team. We came to the conclusion that N'Golo Kante would solve every problem we have, and we could play Shaqiri and Guti at the same time. But
yeah,
dude, I like the idea of cultivating young talent and then also bringing somebody in. Like we need to bring Kai Kamara in as a backup striker. Like as a backup striker.
We already got one. It's Casper. You already got one. He's the same thing.
Going to be the backup.
I would love for Casper to be shot into space. That dude is
terrible. But if you did that, then you bring in Kai. But they're the same player, and to me, you can't do one without. You can have one, but you can't have the other. So yes, shoot him out to space, bring him in.
Yeah, but Casper looks like a Lego running out there. Like Kai Kamara will at least do cool celebrations. Like, don't forget about vibes.
In his defense, this is, I'm going to mention two players here. So Casper apparently had back issues that plagued him throughout the season. Fine. He was playing hurt. I'll give him the benefit of one more season. So if he's fully recovered, that guy should be like scoring out of the gate. Like,
Did he really score like that for Philly?
uh,
I mean,
that's the thing. He didn't really score like that for Philly, and I think he only had 1 or 2 seasons where he was scoring regularly.
Dude, Casper is garbage. Like I do try to not talk a lot of crap about players because they're people and they deserve to be people. But God, dude, watching him I'm actually offended that he's still on the roster. We cut
You know what? He's a tough
Dre.
signing. It's where are you gonna move that guy to? Like, you have no choice.
You're like a coach. He's not your
Anywhere,
guy.
man.
So you're
Jettison
like,
him to Cyprus.
You can't really.
Yeah.
You gotta buy him out of his contract.
Dope.
No team.
Mansueto's a billionaire.
He's getting paid $1 million.
Dude,
And the
Mansueto's
thing
a
about
billionaire.
it, the thing about it is that no MLS team wants to get within 10 feet of him because he's so bad right now. He played so bad for us last season.
Well, I'm
another
sure
player
some
I want to-
Saudi team
San
wants to make
Jose
a
needs to
splash.
feel a team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Another player I want to bring up is Jairo Torres.
Yeah.
Dude, now
he needs to
his-
step it up big this season.
Here's the thing, and I mentioned this before. Back in October, when the Fire had their anniversary party, I did manage to talk to Ezra about that. I'm like, hey Ezra,
You
what's
talked to
going on
Ezra?
with-
You got in Ezra's ear?
I got in Ezra's ear. I had a conversation with him. So put it like this: I asked Ezra, what's going on with the team? What's going on with Jairo Torres? He told me in his words, you know what, with Jairo Torres, we kind of got gypped. He used those exact same words. We kind of got gypped because he came to us hurt.
Well,
So he was hurt coming from Atlas, and and he got hurt some more here.
well, I ain't gonna
and-
lie. I do believe that most guys who come over in the summer window end up like struggling, and then when they either hit or they fail spectacularly the next season. So that's where we are with him because most of those summer, even like even the big names, like think of like when Lampard first came over here, everybody thought he was such a bust, and then the next season he just killed it. It's kind of though like we're talking about Casper. Casper kept Gazdag off the roster, right? Like Gazdag couldn't get a start, and then all of a sudden he explodes the next season. So
look at
it is
Gazdag now, man.
yeah,
Whoo-wee.
exactly. So I do subscribe to the theory that guys coming over to MLS in the summer usually struggle at first season, unless they're out of this world. But
Me-
I don't know, man. Like I will say this. We give these guys a lot of love and they deserve it. But today, Sad Boys put out a podcast, right? And
I haven't heard it yet. I gotta hear it.
I gotta tell you, Adnan, he said he put into words something brilliantly that I've never been able to put into words, which is if I have to look the guy up that the Fire get for their next DP on the internet, they have already failed.
They've already
Yep.
failed.
I
Yep.
need to have heard of this guy.
Yes.
Yep.
Like it can't
At
be
least-
Michael DeLue. Like it cannot,
No.
even though he didn't play terribly.
Well,
but
we
like,
just said,
it
what if
can't
it
be
is
like
some
that.
guy? What if it is some no-name striker from Brazil you've never heard of, but it's worth $5 million and is worth every penny? Like he's
That's what I said though. But like this guy has to be at least in the radar for a potential Brazilian call up. Like
yes,
I mean,
that type.
yeah, he needs to be that type. Now, if like you mentioned, Neo, if you sign a player that I have to look up the name of the team, I have no idea what some random Eastern European team that I have to find out which country he plays in, or the guy's an unknown that's been sitting on the bench for 2 seasons or whatever. We have lost.
Agreed. Like, and I don't know, man. I I jokingly say the most I don't want to use the term racist, but the worst I am is against German people because of Torsten Frings. But I will say this: Eastern European soccer players are boring as shit. Like, can we just stop getting them and maybe get some South Americans or maybe a good American player?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. Like, just somebody who isn't boring, dude. Like, I just, what's hilarious?
That's what Jairo
is-
Torres was supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. You're right. I gotta say, I hate referencing Twitter so much, but I was kind of screwing around on Twitter the last couple days. There was somebody tweeted about, like kind of one of those tier list things, and it's like the Fire was down with like they're bad and nobody supports them. which is hilarious because Chicago loves losers. So how bad do you have to be in a town that loves a loser and just be irrelevant? So I
Yo,
don't care if this thing blows up. I don't care. Like, I want it to be the 86 Mets, but I don't care if it's not. I don't care if this thing blows up. I want these guys out there doing blow. I want car wrecks. I want fist fights on the field. I want interesting. If you're going to
well,
suck, please be interesting. For real.
Ray, let me cut in right now for a sec. So I'm looking on Twitter right now. Someone by the name of Chicago Fire Soccer Talk just 14 minutes ago said, hearing that the Fire are targeting a young striker under age 25 playing in Argentina Liga Profesional. The other targets being monitored, but he's at the top of their list. Isn't this what we just talked about, James?
Dude, buy a big striker. Just buy a big striker. Just fucking do it.
Hey,
Like, be like, have the kid in the midfield, have the kid in the back, have the kid as a goalie. Like, I am not a Brady stan, but I am all about like taking your lumps with Brady.
It needs
But
to be a
like,
name that causes
does.
a striker's
shockwaves.
got to be a name, dude. A
It needs to
striker
be a
has
game.
got to
Yes,
be somebody.
it needs to be a name because
And
I
it's
just remember right
Lewandowski.
now.
It's gotta be.
I just remember right now. I just remember right now that we did this approach before. We tried our luck with that kid that we just got rid of to Lugano. We
Oh,
tried
Alisteda.
Aliseda, exactly. We just tried this. Now,
No, you're gonna fail 4 out of 5 times every
yeah,
time with a young player. But
yeah,
that's the problem is most teams can afford 7 of them, but in our league, you have to pick 1.
yeah.
You get 1. And it's like,
So
I
no, you're right. And I think is if you're gonna go for a DP9, and if you're looking at Argentina, this cat better come out from like River Plate or Boca Juniors, and he has to be in that pecking order of scoring goals. Like,
yeah, he's gotta have some hype. Like, if
yeah,
I have to look the guy up, I have to be able to see articles where it's like, "Why is the world not talking about this cat?"
exactly.
If I'm looking a guy up and it's just like 10 goals over 38 appearances or like 5 goals in 17 appearances, like get out of here, dude. Like,
Yeah,
like no, they have to excite me. I was telling
yeah.
James this the other day, man. Like, I think I only watched like 15 games this season or this past season.
Well, I
This
mean,
is why.
It's gonna be easier to watch with the Apple TV deal, which let's talk about
yeah.
later.
I
Oof.
mean, you're right. I would like for the Fire to go out and sign a DP9. Give me a Lewandowski. Let me get give me a Griezmann. Give me somebody I know, somebody
Got the
that I've
money
seen on
for it.
TV. We got the money. We're sitting on money right now. Mansueto has a bed full of cash right now, and fine. You spend the big money on the name, the guy that's going to score all those goals, and you spend a little money on the U22 player that might potentially flip for big money later on. So let's go that route. Let's stop messing around and let's just spend the money.
They got to do one more thing because Chicago, guys, we know Chicago doesn't care. They don't even love these lovable losers here in the Fire. No, they didn't care that the Fire literally just won the World Cup of transfers,
Yeah.
this season, and they've sold basically 35 million to 40 million worth of players, and like that.
That's European money.
They won the Super Bowl basically in MLS terms, and I mean, besides us three, nobody knows in Chicago.
Well, I mean, in all seriousness, like I know this is
and the
a
rest of
dumb
Chicago Fire
metric.
fans
Well, I know this is a dumb metric,
and
but
MLS
think
fans
about
and
this.
I guess McQuarter. Sorry, guys.
I used to listen to talk radio like crazy. Do you think the Score has said a single word about this transfer?
Nope. Score's dying. Who listens to
Oh,
sport radio?
I didn't know the Score was dying. So okay, did ESPN
But
1000 say a single word about this?
they used
No.
to have a show in the mornings, Saturday mornings, on ESPN 1000 for the Fire.
Yeah, they did. You're right. That was Dan Kelly doing that, wasn't it?
Yep, it was Dan
Oh
Kelly,
my
Frank
God.
Lopez, and Fred Hubner.
Do you? Oh my
Hubner,
God,
yep.
Fred, dude,
Fred Hubner.
hold on. I don't want to bring this down. I do not want to bring this down. The last I've heard of Hubner was his wife was not doing well. Did that get any better or?
I haven't heard anything,
I
man.
haven't
I'm
heard
Okay, no,
involved.
this was like 4 or 5 years ago. This is the last time I've heard
No,
Fred Hubner.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, she passed. That sucks. But pour one out for Fred Hubner's wife because that dude's a cool dude.
We had him on the show. It was a great episode.
Oh, for
Yeah.
dude, you got to get him back, dude. He's one of those cats who like, we'll never have this moment again, right? In the next 20 years, everyone who will grow up in America will have MLS in their life.
Yep.
But there was a time where you needed meathead sports guys to either jump on board or, it's like this is the most eclectic mix of people who will like a sport in history, right? We are living through a weird time. The growth of a sport in a country.
Yep.
Like this is kind of wild.
I used to text. I texted Mully and Hall once, and Mully responded back to me. I could tell it was Mully. He texted me. If you text the sports thing or whatever, the sports people, like it's them. It's the sports host reading your text and stuff.
Their phone.
Yeah, it goes to the sports host, and like it's the radio phone. What is it? ESPN 1000 or 760.
I always listen to the score, man. You know who I used to listen to all the time? Who used to hate soccer was Jim Rome. I went to. He used to do these like live things and shit. I went to like one in Kansas City and one in Madison. It was a good time. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah,
Jim, those guys are gonna pretty soon. Those guys are gonna be extinct, man, because soccer's picking up, and it's gonna be hard.
Dinosaurs will die.
Mully's a big soccer fan, though. That was the thing. Like it was so that's why I was trying to appeal. I knew he was a big soccer fan. He loves English Premiership, but he was like, dude, nah. It's like the MLS. It's just not. It just doesn't get anybody. Nobody cares. Blah blah. He tried to say it as nicely as he could, but it's like just basically like they tell us what to play, what plays, and that doesn't play.
Oof. It's
painful.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is what the Fire did this past transfer window. No MLS team has done this where they can walk away with 30 mil, 40 mil in the pocket.
That's what I'm saying. Where's the Chicago media celebrating this and bringing the eyes of Chicago to this?
Well, hold on. Didn't Dallas over like an 18-month period sell Richards
only sold one player,
and
they only sold one player every season though. They were
only
able
for real.
They only had they might have gotten 20 mil for what's his name Pepe. And they won't sell anybody. They wouldn't sell anybody for another, until next season. But having two players go out, on a 30-40 mil transfer, now you're talking about Premier League numbers.
On the last place team, like on one of the last place teams.
Like let's be honest. It's not long before. Okay, what is the upper echelon? We'll call the upper echelon 5 leagues: England, France, Spain, Germany, and Italy.
England,
right?
France.
Italy. It's gonna be literally 5 years. It's not gonna be 30. It's not gonna be 50. It's gonna be 5 years where MLS is in that
Spain,
category of yeah. But MLS would be in the category right below it, with the Netherlands.
I would replace France with Holland.
Well, no, Holland's in that second level, man.
Holland's in the second level below France.
But
France is still above.
If you put the championship, Holland.
France is only PSG. That's it.
Yeah,
no, they got a few others. They got somebody else. They got a
Lyon.
Well, they're getting the same problem as England. Like the oil money is starting to come in because, I know Morocco kind of flamed out, but there's a few other teams over there that are like just getting their cash influx. And it's like Newcastle. You have to slow spend so you don't get slapped on the wrist.
So guys, they need to bring in somebody like Lewandowski. Chicago Fire. That's what the core of the fact of the matter is. If they're gonna get the collective face of Chicago media to be like, oh, Chicago Fire are a team that play in Chicago, and Robert Lewandowski plays for them. That's the only way. It's gonna be if Lewandowski comes or Messi or Ronaldo.
They need to call in a favor for
It doesn't have to be that big, dude. You could do.
Shaqiri ain't big enough. Schweinsteiger ain't big enough.
I mean, I know he just moved, so he's not going to move again. But if you get a guy like Isaac, even, you know what I mean? It's a big enough name for the soccer heads. And then you'll have the and then if you do a good enough job, which the one thing the Fire have done well since they've been terrible is they promote themselves well. They make good content. So you would have the Fire pushing, say, Isaac to the non-soccer fan as the second coming, and they don't give a shit because they don't know either way. And then the soccer heads are going to be like, yeah, he's good. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't even have to be a retirement Messi or Ronaldo. It has to be.
It doesn't.
somebody who like is gonna take that big paycheck the 2 years before they should. You know what I mean? Like,
And scores freaking goals aplenty. Like, is at the top of the leaderboards for goals. Like,
well,
that's
like,
what they
who's
need
that-
to do.
who's that guy that? How old's the guy that Juventus bought from Florentina last year? He's kind of older, right? You know what I mean? Like guys like that, like on a team that cycles through cats. You know, I'm trying to think who did Isaac replace at Newcastle? Actually, I know that sounds dumb, but who was Newcastle striker before that? You know, honestly, it's oh my god, I can't believe I'm about to say this because I actually want to throw this man off a roof because of what he's done to Jesse Marsh.
Dusan Vlahovic?
But, no. But if you bring in Patrick Bamford. Do we have a mini DPG out here?
Yeah, I got him a Batman toy, and he keeps asking me every 5 minutes to, because it's like one of those. It turned into a Batmobile kind of thing, and he's asking me.
It's like a Transformer.
Yeah, it's like a Transformer Batman. But I remember seeing that guy on the Sunderland documentary on Amazon Prime a couple of years ago.
Who?
And Bamford.
Oh, for real? He was on Sunderland before he went to Leeds?
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't. He was in Sunderland.
I have still never watched that. Is that worth a watch?
It's either on Netflix or on Prime. I think it's on Netflix.
Well, my girl has all that shit. I don't usually watch anything. I play video games and watch soccer. That's it.
So the two players that have switched from Fiorentina to Juventus recently in the last 20 years, you got Federico Bernardeschi, who's now in the MLS.
No, it's the cat. The name starts with a V.
And last year it was Dusan Vlahovic.
Yeah, that cat.
For
How old is he?
$75 million.
Okay, never mind. I thought he was a little older.
No, $75 million. He is 22 years old.
Oh shit! Well, never mind. I thought he was like 28 or something. Never, forget that. Well, who else is on Juventus? Could you? Well, actually, how good is Dybala still playing well? Could you get a Dybala?
Oh, Dybala is ridiculous. No, not if Jose Mourinho has his way. He would never let go of his Dybala. It's his favorite player. It's his blanket. The coach said this about the Vlahovic deal. The Fiorentina president, said this. It was clear that Vlahovic already had a deal. He said no to every offer we put up for him. I went to England many times. Each time he said no. He wanted to ruin Fiorentina. He said this about the player.
I mean, why not? You already know he's out the door, man. Burn it down, dude. I'm all about burning bridges. Okay, uno momento, gentlemen. I rushed on here, so I did not use the restroom before I started. I will be right back.
All right. Runabout. Turn around. Thanks for everybody for joining us here on Spittin' Fire. Kick that like button. Appreciate you guys hanging out this Wednesday. We got the live chat kicking. We got Angus McHorta. He's loving the Elvid Velvis in the background. It's also on the treadmill. Good to be getting that exercise, right? Good to be.